Welcome to Alamatch. Today, we're going to be learning the basics of how to play the game. We'll briefly go over the playmat layout, what actions you can do, and how to handle monsters. Now let's get started. Alamatch is a two-player game, so grab a friend before you start. To begin the game, make sure to shuffle your Alamatch deck thoroughly and then put it face down in the middle of the table. We'll call this your deck. Now that you've got your deck set up, discuss amongst yourselves to determine who will be player 1. Now that you've got that sorted, player 1, start by drawing one card from the top of the deck. This card is your base card. Place your base card on one side of the deck to start the first discard pile. Remember this card, player 1, if you're playing epic mode or higher, this card's level and tribe will be important when you score. Player 2, now it's your turn to draw from the deck. Place the card you drew on the other side of the deck to start the second discard pile. This, player 2, is your base card. Remember to take note of its tribe and level as well. If, for example, player 2 had drawn a monster, then take that monster and put it face up in the monster pit. This section is the monster pit. This is where you'll put all the monsters you draw during the game. Any monsters that are face up are considered active. If you're able to defeat a monster, then they'll become inactive and should be placed face down. In this case, player 2 still doesn't have a base card, so we'll need to draw cards from the deck until both players have heroes as their base card. Now that both players have a hero as their base card, you'll need to compare the names of your base card heroes. Check which hero's name goes first alphabetically. Whoever's hero goes first plays first. In this case, player 1 will take the first turn. Now player 1, start by drawing 4 cards from the deck. Player 1 now has 4 cards in hand, but oh no, you've drawn a monster. If you draw a monster, place that card face up in the monster pit, and for now player 1, you can put your hand down. And now player 2, you can draw your first 4 cards. Oh, but you've also drawn a monster. As we saw earlier, you should place this monster face up in the monster pit. And player 2, you can put your cards down as well. Player 1, pick your cards back up and draw again from the deck. Do this until you're able to get 4 heroes in your hand. Player 2, it's your turn to draw cards from the deck. Once you have 4 heroes in hand, you can put your hand down and the game proper can begin. Since player 1's base card hero comes first alphabetically, player 1 will take the first turn. To begin your turn, you must draw a card from the deck or from either discard pile as long as it's not your base card. In this case, player 1 will choose to draw player 2's base card from the discard pile. When drawing from the discard pile, you may only get 1 card. If the discard pile becomes empty, you'll need to replenish it by drawing a card from the deck. Once you've finished drawing, you can do one of these 4 actions during your turn. You may play a combo, attach a card to an existing combo, discard a card, or pass your turn. If you're playing at the epic difficulty or higher, you can also fight or flee from monsters. As their action, player 1 will choose to play a combo. To play a combo, you need to put together specific combinations of 2 to 5 cards. These can either be straights, cards with consecutive numbers, groups, cards of the same tribe, runs, cards with consecutive numbers that also have the same tribe, sets, cards that have the same level, or specials, 2 pairs or a pair and a set of 3. In this case, they're playing a pair of 11s. Place any combos played in front of you, in your cards in play. Once your action has been taken, your turn ends. Player 2 can now start their turn by drawing. In this case, they'll choose to draw from the deck. If you choose to draw from the deck, you may draw up to 2 cards depending on how many cards you have in hand. The hand limit is by default 5, and player 2 currently has 4 cards in hand. Since drawing 2 would give player 2 more than 5 cards, then they can only draw 1 card for this turn. For their action, player 2 will choose to play this straight of 3 cards. Now that player 2 has taken their action, their turn ends and the turn returns to player 1. As you can see, player 1 has these cards in hand. Given that, they'll choose to draw from the discard once more, and again, they must replenish the discard pile. As their action, they've chosen to attach the card they just drew to their existing combo. You can attach a card by adding any card to an existing combo, such that it makes a new and also valid combo. In our example, player 1 turned a set of 2 11s into a set of 3 11s. You can attach a card to either your own or your opponent's combos, as long as that combo is less than 5 cards long. Player 2 can now begin their turn by choosing to draw from the draw pile. And they've gotten a monster. As before, place the monster in the monster pit, and now player 2 is considered to be actively in a monster encounter. At basic, drawing a monster means that your turn ends and the other player's turn begins. At epic and above, however, you can deal with monster encounters by fleeing or fighting. At this point, player 2 can choose to, for example, flee. To flee, they'll need to discard any 2 cards from their hand. Since they had only 2 cards in hand, they'll discard both. Discarding a card means to place it on top of either discard pile. When not fleeing from a monster, you can discard a card as an action during your turn, if you want to remove that card from your hand, or if you want to score points in luck or empathy. If you flee successfully, the monster stays active in the monster pit and you get a bit of strength from the action. Alternatively, the player may choose instead to fight the monster. To fight, you'll need to try to beat the current active monster and the previous active monster's levels. In this case, player 2 would need to defeat a 2 and an 8. Let's say that between the 2 cards they had, player 2 wants to drop the 9 card to fight. Then player 2 must draw 1 card from the deck to add to their hero score. As we can see, a 9 plus an 8 beats a 2 and an 8, which means player 2 has won the fight. The current active monster is now rendered inactive, so you can flip it face down in the monster pit. And the heroes used must be discarded. If, for example, during a fight, a player has another card in hand that has a fist icon, this can also be dropped as an optional card to add to your hero score. And that's pretty much everything you need to know to get started with Alamatch. To see our more complete game guide, visit our website at alamatch.fun. And to have a smoother game experience overall, check out our scoring app on the Apple App Store and Google Play Store. Just look for Alamatch Scorer and you should be all set. Have fun and happy playing. We hope you enjoy Alamatch.